And this is going to be my hot take. Things that they actually do have right with the body positivity movement. I know. It pains me to do this, but it's true. They have gotten some things right, guys. They really have. You know, I'm going to start off with public enemy number one for every fat ass on the planet. Plastic lawn chairs. Them motherfuckers. You're barely strong for a normal sized person, but I have cracked more than one of them with my ass, even when I wasn't that overweight. But beyond that, there are things and treatments, you know, as I've gotten into this more. I did expect it. It happened the day I was on Gothix's stream. I was on there. We were testing stuff out. She wanted to fix her audio. And I'm on there. Now, I didn't have makeup on at the time. But I wasn't saying nothing. I was drinking my coffee. And some guy comes on screen. And he goes, ugh, I came on here so I could see Gothix say something cool. Instead, I see this ogre talking. Ugh. And I was like, well, sorry, but this ogre's here. And Gothix essentially told him to go pound sand. And he said, you're welcome, Shrek. And I was like, thank you, I am Fiona. Like, don't misgender me. Sorry, I couldn't help it. But, you know, there are things. So, there's unwanted attention from people who believe you are a desperate person.
Cis men hate fat girls that won't fuck them. Really want to see a cis man lose his shit? Be a fat woman that doesn't want to fuck him. Give it a minute. There's a specific kind of anger and frustration that they show when even the fat girl doesn't want to fuck them. Cis men are usually violent towards fat women that don't want to sleep with them because they, like everybody else, have bought into the undesirability of fat women and see them as a sexual social safety net.
Because, and this is where it is slightly throwing shade, I see a lot of the BOPO girls on TikTok complaining about the men that screw them behind closed doors but won't date them in person. Honey, that is not because they are, you know, secretly into fat chicks. It's because they hoes. They male hoes and they want to dip their stick in whatever they can. It's not something to brag about on either side, in my opinion. Okay? So don't act like it's some secret. We all know that there are men and women who will do anyone if they can just get it done. But when I was in sales, there were a lot of men that assumed that because I was overweight, even though I have this thing on my finger, that I was a desperate woman for attention and that I wanted male attention. And I would fairly often get guys flirting with me for discounts. Key thing, if I ever stop doing content creation again and you see me doing commission sales, flirt with me and I'm charging you more. No discounts for you. None. It would happen a lot. A lot. So bad. Some guys would just stare directly at the girls. And I'm just like, You can stare at them all you want. It's not a compliment. I don't suddenly feel the flutters. And I'm not getting the vipers. And I'm not going to give you a discount, sir. It would happen fairly often if there was ever a group I was in and there were males there. And my husband / when he was fiance / boyfriend was there. Men would automatically, emphatically make sure that I was aware they didn't want me. It's an automatic thing that would happen fairly often. So much so that I got in the habit of making sure that I brought up my significant other as much as possible. I've actually gotten in the habit of it for a different reason now, but before it was because I didn't want men to think I would hit on them, or women for that matter. I didn't want anyone to think that I was looking for them. I already had somebody. Now I do it because in the South I get hit on a lot. Usually by people that are my father's age Oh, the grossest one was a guy looking at me like he was staring at my ass going. And the rudest one groped me at work. Both these happened at work. I worked at a gas station. I digress. People assuming, and I spoke in one of my other videos about, like, you know, doctors sometimes focusing solely on you being overweight. People looking at you, glaring at you, staring at you. That does happen in some places, especially if you go to very superficial places. Bullying, yeah, that happens. But bullying happens for a bunch of different reasons. You know, I was watching, my thoughts will offend you, my senpai, Michelle McDaniel. And she did not realize that gingers get bullied in, you know, a lot of folks don't realize that white people have their own version of mocking each other, like the blondes, the brunettes, all that jazz, and gingers and things like that. And like, things that people can't control are things that people get mocked for. But being overweight is up there. I got mocked for my weight back. I said in another one of my videos that, you know, when I was in middle school, I was chubby at best. We're talking 20, maybe by the time I was 13, 30 pounds overweight. This was no big deal. And I know for a fact that when I was in middle school, I was roughly the same height I am now. I remember weighing 150, 170, and apparently that was exceedingly overweight to people, to doctors. And I got horribly bullied for it. I've told you guys before the story of the kid Tony in my school, people mocking me for my weight. The thing is, while you guys have that all correct, none of that negates your bad behavior. None of that excuses you trying to guilt people to date you because they're not attracted to you. None of that excuses you making up your own medical information to validate that you want to stay overweight. I'm not saying that you haven't had bad experiences, that you haven't had a negative experience being overweight. I'm not saying that. But to tell people that it's impossible for you to lose weight, that you're just always going to be overweight, it is a lie. It's a lie. Okay? You want to say you're naturally muscular, you have denser bones, those are true. If you want to say that your shape naturally can gather weight more and your genetics can, yes. But we have to stop lying to ourselves, ladies and gentlemen, that us turning into people where fat finds new locations, it's not water weight. It's not just genetics. And in exceedingly only rare cases is it medical, that due to medicines or something like that. Otherwise, we're doing it to ourselves. You know, there is nothing wrong with admitting that. But when you start lying to yourselves about the food intake, about the calorie intake, I had someone literally come at me saying that 3,000 calories a day was a perfectly normal amount of food. No, it is not. Not for the normal everyday person. Maybe if you're an athlete and you are working super hard, if you're doing exceedingly heavy labor, maybe you're trying to build muscle, possibly. But, or maybe you're taller and you have to maintain it for a certain medical reason. Maybe you're recovering from an ED, which is exactly what this person was doing, and you have to regain your body weight. Then it makes sense. But no, I double checked twice. The normal intake for a human being in any age range above 18 is 1,600 to 2,400. That's your range, okay? Anything beyond that is either too low. 1,200 is fine. That's where I'm at right now. I'm currently, except for obviously when I went to Texas. Okay, guys, you can't blame me. They offered me Korean barbecue. I couldn't say no. Okay, just saying. I was weak. I'd never had it before. That's the point. Aside from the days when you might have a little extra, 1,200 is normal if you're in a calorie deficit and you're my size, you're actively trying to lose weight. Calorie in, calorie out is not an unhealthy thing to say, especially if you're someone who's primarily sedentary like I am. You know, a lot of what I do is sitting down, whether I'm drawing, whether I am recording videos, whether I am live streaming, whether I am on a meeting with my job. A lot of what I do requires sitting down. So as a result, I don't need a lot of calories. And because I don't take in a lot of calories, my body burns a lot of the ones that are there. It's slow though. Yes, I could lose weight quicker if I exercise more, but I'm also honest about that. Listen, I do not like chafing. I do not like sweating, and I have arthritis in both knees. I fell on both of them in 2016 on 3 separate occasions, and that one hardest whack took out the right knee, and then because I was favoring the knee with using my left, I developed it in the left knee. Oh, and that buckled while I was in Texas. That did not feel good. And so I know, Penny, I know it hurt. And so as a result, I am more willing to take the slow process and slowly just reteach myself. And once I lose some more weight, my goal is to buy this really fancy but expensive exercise bike for higher weight intake. I love exercise bikes. And I'm going to try to get into a pool, which surprisingly is very difficult to find down here. But I'm going off on a tangent. My point is, guys, I'm not saying that you're completely wrong. And I've tried my best in every video I've made to give situations where I understand, where I've experienced something similar, or I know kind of what you're talking about. I get it. I get it. No one wants to be bullied. Nobody wants to be shamed. But it doesn't mean you go to extremes. It doesn't mean you become the bully. It doesn't mean you start shaming somebody because they're not fat enough.
Movement is not about insecurity. So if you're in the movement to try and be more secure, then that you're in the wrong movement. Go find another movement. Go find the body acceptance movement, the self-love movement, the body neutrality movement, the body confidence movement. The body positive movement is not about your insecurities, especially when 95% of those insecurities are about being fat. And this is just like from what I've observed with people talk about it. An example, people get insecure when they bloat. When you bloat, you get bigger. See the connection? So yeah, I don't give 2 fucks about your insecurities. Go find a movement that is not about marginalized bodies or fighting for equality or equal treatment. Find a movement that is not a socio-political movement. Find a movement that is actually about your own body image. Body positivity is not that.
It doesn't mean you tell people who are thin that they're not allowed to join your movement because it's not for them. When you start gatekeeping, you become the person you claim you hate. You guys are becoming the people you claim that you're railing against. Wake up. You are becoming the people you claimed hurt you. And if you keep doing this, you're going to create a generation of people that genuinely do hate fat people. I was touching on this earlier. Republicans used to be at least more tolerant to overweight people. Now I show up on screen, most Republicans automatically assume I'm some mean-ass SJW. Why? Because you bitches had to come and start shit. Now, it doesn't excuse them acting like shit to me. It doesn't. But you know what? a lot of people, once they hear what I have to say, I start to break through. A lot of people inspired me to be that way. But you know one of the reasons I did that, and one of the reasons I started talking this way? Blaire White is a very real reason. You know, the trans community has some valid complaints. And before I saw Blaire White, I didn't give a shit about almost any of them. I thought half of them were stupid and these were crazy people. And the only reason that I was able to start accepting that part of the LGBT is because of her. But people torture that woman. They torture her. They make her sound like she is the devil incarnate. Instead, they should be grateful to her because she showed people that not all trans people are crazy women and men trying to poison their kids' minds with things they're not ready to understand. She showed everybody that they are normal human beings who want to live their lives. My friend Gothix, she is amazing because she showed everybody that no, Black people are not a monolith. We do think for ourselves. We have our own way of thinking. Because the problem is, guys, when you start to act like the people I'm referring to, when you start to act like the crazy trans people who demand legislation, and you get arrested if you don't use their proper pronouns. When you start to act like the BLM activists who burn, loot, and riot when they don't get their way. When you start to tell people that everything they do, they should be shamed, that everything about your life, you should be able to eat yourself to death, and that you should be dating anyone you want, and they should not be able to tell you no just based on how you look. When there's things you do, when you start to take these bullying tactics, then you create people who hate you. You create people who judge us. You create the fat phobia. You make it happen. You're a self-fulfilling prophecy. That's the biggest problem that I have. That is partly why I started this. Because I saw other people who were tired of the loud minority speaking for them and making it seem like they didn't exist in their own communities. And I can't stand that there's a fat community. We don't technically have a community. We're just all fat. Fat people come from every walk of life, from every political background, from every ethnicity, every country. America's not even the fattest country out there. We're certainly picking up steam. But that is one of the reasons why I say is because, guys, I get it. Again, I started this conversation by saying there are things that you're right about. But you are such assholes about it. And you're so indignant and you are so entitled. And you start taking the wrong tactics. And you start treating people like shit to get your way. That eventually nobody wants to help you on the things that are true. And everyone just kind of hopes she'll go the fuck away. That's not helping you. That's not helping future people that are like you. And that's not creating anybody that wants to help you. And that is why, to anybody who gets in my comments and tells me that I'm a faker, which I can't lie, just a segue, I kind of like that I have haters now. I was a little worried when a lot of you guys kept liking me. I was wondering where the candid camera was. When you get haters, you're doing something right. But I just want to make you guys understand. It's not because I'm a failed leftist. And now I am trying to make it as a right-winger. I was talking to my dad, and I said to him, I said, Daddy, for the longest time I was able to be in this movement because I didn't think people were making up their own rules and lying to themselves. And when I found out about that, I couldn't shut up anymore. And that's what I'll say to you guys. Have a little self-awareness. Start realizing what you're doing and who you're really affecting. You're hurting more fat people than you're helping them. And you're telling a lot of kids it's okay to be that way, and potentially really hurting them and creating really unhealthy habits and ideas for the future. That's just my food for thought. Because, believe it or not, I want to see you all succeed in life and be happy and be healthy. And I will be your ally. I'll be your ear to listen. I'll be your side-by-side fighter. But I'll only do all of that when you're fucking honest. Just be honest. And stop being bullies. I don't think that's too much to ask for. Do you? And that's another of my body positivity, guys. You know, I had to mention some things that, you know, you got to give credit where credit is due, but you also got to continue to call out the bullshit where bullshit is due. I want to round out this video, though, starting with congratulating members of our community. So we're going to start with Sky. Sky started out her weight loss journey at 180 pounds, and she is now down to 135 pounds. So, woo! Congrats to Sky. That is amazing. Then we are going to go on to Rose. Rose has started her journey at 292, and she is currently at 252. That is an awesome traction. She has an aim for 40 more pounds. So, woo! Go Rose. We got you. We are watching you. And then we are going to end our community shout outs with Leslie. Leslie started out at 225 pounds and is currently at 170 pounds. So, woo! That is amazing. Just letting you guys know, Rose and Leslie are both still on their journey. So give them encouragement in the comments. Tell them to keep kicking it and do amazing things. And actually, Sky had a message for all of you guys. The advice I'd like to give anyone in a similar situation is to take yourself back. You owe it to yourself to be happy with who you're looking back at. It is so hard to lose weight, especially when food is a coping mechanism. However, it will change so much for you once you do. And I agree, when you utilize the wrong coping mechanisms, it really does damage any journey that you're on. So, Sky, that's a beautiful message. Guys, don't forget, if you are on a weight loss journey, or if you did complete a weight loss journey, maybe you have completed a muscle journey, please feel free, send me the before and afters at my email, thestarson@yahoo.com. I want to see your progress. I want to thank my patrons. I have 11 of you guys now. Thank you so much. I want to shout out Lisa, John Quinn, Sherry Molosky, Emil DeVry, Ide, Maria, Panda Bear, Danielle Moriando, Anna Mae Chan, Brandon Kearley, and Lady Derpy. And guys, just a reminder, whenever you sign up for my Patreon, as low as $1, you get access to a lot of amazing things. You know, you're going to get exclusive reaction videos that you're not going to see on my regular YouTube. You're going to get access to exclusive artwork that is only going to get posted on my Patreon. You are going to get behind the scenes footage of me doing my editing. Maybe you're going to get little bits and pieces, just some fun stuff. And I have a monthly giveaway. Ide was our recent winner, and she is going to be getting her package soon. And no matter what level you join at, you get a little something from me mailed to you. I'm still working on it for the current patrons. Don't forget to check out this month for No System with our pin curiosities. We got some really cool ones coming out. And, you know, maybe you want to pin the heart of someone you love for Valentine's Day. Get them a couple of cool little enamel pins and anything else we might have in our stores. But Otherwise, guys, this is all my social media platforms. Please follow me, like, comment, subscribe on any of them, on all the posts that I have, and, you know, help support me. I appreciate any support that I get. I love you guys all so much for that. Trust me. It's the growth is definitely slowed down, but I appreciate all that I have here. You guys are a wicked awesome community. So that's all I have for now, guys. Thank you so much. Please remember to share the video. Again, like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell. Make sure you get your girl some views. And don't forget to tell the people that you care about, that you love them, and to be safe. So everybody, I love you. Be safe. Have a great day, guys. Bye.